All right, in this video, it's one of the first steps I'm doing in building this Land Cruiser. Already came with the ARB, and a rear ARB. That's going. That'll be in a future video. Going to put a great rear bar, best in the industry. So the side steps, that's ARB, and as you can see, the previous owner, because I got the vehicle like this, did not do the front rail. So this video, I will show you how the front rail installs. I've searched myself. I looked on ARB's site. I looked for instructions. There's nothing. The only thing they really give you is a template, which is here. And the template is basically a cutout to show you your small pilot hole and then the bigger hole for installing this, which will attach here. So to start off, I had side rails, which is this. So in the side rails, when you buy the front rail, that's going to continue from here, you're removing this piece, which means this plate totally changes. So they send you new plates to put on, and they send you new hardware here and new hardware underneath. So you will be changing the step aluminum piece. I personally am going to get my new pieces powder coated black, and I'm going to get rid of this chrome piece here as well. In the later, this is a 2016, so in the heritage versions, they got rid of that, which is interesting because in 2008 through 2011, because 2012 they did not make 200 series, it went to 2013. I guess they were trying to dump their old inventory from 2012, from 2011. So they didn't have this. So I had a 2008 and it did not have that chrome piece. I kind of prefer that look. It's a little cleaner. That chrome piece is just kind of but I'm gonna have some fun with it. I'm gonna probably make it Yankee gold, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe. But here's what I did. So I removed the plate, as you can see, and then you remove just the butt end here. So that ends up being, you know, the new connection for your front rail. So this is what effectively I removed. So this used to be here, right? And now it's part of the front rail. So pretty cool. It's you know, obviously you can upgrade later, that's what I'm doing. So I put in this piece, and you know, I was going to put a furniture kind of a mat down here, or cloth to protect the paint, but you really don't have to. And I'm doing this as a one-man job, so that's how close it came. I have not touched the vehicle. I worked this in, so I cleaned it all up here. I know that's dirty, but I cleaned this side, slid it in. You see that little gap? They do supply you with plates. So I'm going to put that in that gap. Just one plate will do it. 2 plates will be too much. So just to make it nice and smooth and I guess rattle free and just tighten up nice and easy, because I do have that gap, yet this is nice and tight. So when you put this on, you can literally let the front rail kind of hang there, right? It comes off like 4 inches or so this way. And then I did put this piece on just so I can size up where to go. Now, you're going to say to yourself, why didn't he use the cutout? Well, because here's why. I slid the paper behind here. I was trying to line it up, and I was just thinking, you know, I'm just going to use some tape instead of this little guide. I will use that paper when I remove this off, when I'm going to do my drilling. But as you can see, make sure you choose the right ARB, so it's, you know, letters are up. If you use the other side, it would be no, actually it would be the same thing. Yeah, because they're universal. So make sure your ARB is up. And I kind of eyeballed this line here coming across. See how it hits my tape? So that's my horizontal line going all around, and then make sure it also matches there. And then for my center line, again, I eyeballed it. I came above and looked where my center line's coming, looked on this side, and it's right there. Now, so if I was off by a 1/16 of an inch, which is pretty much, you're not even going to be off by an 1/8. Even if I was, not a big deal. Now, to make sure you have it proper, you know, I made sure this is level, okay? Because when your plate goes down, make sure that's level. And by doing so, you'll see it's going to come in about the distance of your fingers. So run your fingers right along. It's even, even, even. Of course it's going to come out here because the front end of the truck tapers. And then I put this piece on because I want to make sure it sits nice. So a lot of people, I've seen videos where this thing is sitting up here too high and it just looks kind of funky. So it does sit low. It is going to sit just above your fender line there, as you can see, and sits low here. So kind of like almost 2 fingers starts to jam. 1 finger has play, 2 fingers jams. Okay, that's about the distance you want. And again, eyeball it. You can see that's very level there, like so. So I will drill my pilot hole through here, and what I'll do is make sure I'm horizontal and vertical, and I'll drill through because this is going to be hollow. I'm going to drill through to the other side. Then I will just take the template piece of paper there and make sure it lines up nice. And when you drill, you might want to get a step drill like that. So I'm going to keep going until this is a nice tight fit, because you only really need this big of a hole on this end, right? And on this end, it's got to be the thickness of this. And then obviously that has a nice lip on it, curved. So it's going to fit nice on the bar, like so. All right. So I'm going to get to it. I'm going to obviously drill. I'm going to do a small pilot hole and then work my way bigger and bigger until the size is nice, perfect, and tight. But that is the way I do it. And now there's a video for you to follow. Just double check that it's going to be straight. Measure twice, cut once, right? Because you don't want to mess up this beautiful bar. But I think that's one of the sexiest bars in the front, with their whole front rail, and then of course it connects with their side rail. Yeah, there's some heavier duty sliders out on the market, but this is an overlander, not a rock crawler, and I think I'm gonna love the look of this once it's complete. All right, I'm gonna get to it. Okay, so I have drilled through here to about a size 10 on the step using one of these. So I got up to, let's see here, I don't know if that can, there we go, to 10. See that 10? That's how far I went through here, right? As you can see, there we go. Size 10 is going to be perfect for the bolt on this side, which this is going to go through like this. So I still have to make this bigger to match this housing. But size 10 is what I'm going to want coming through this end. So what I did, this is where I'm using the template, right? So I peeled this off just to give me access, and I wrapped around, so I made sure this is nice and centered there. Actually, it could come up a bit. So on this side, I'm gonna mark off exactly where I have to drill through, which is gonna be right there, okay? So I'm using this. I'm actually gonna resize that because I could see I'm not perfect. I can come up slightly on the back end, so I'm going to come up slightly. So I'll retape that and then make sure I line it up, make sure it's coming straight through here onto the other side, right? So camera can't really do that. You can do that better being live in front of your rig. Again, measure twice, cut once. So then I know I can go to step 10, and then I'll figure out what step I need to. I'm just going to go step by step until this piece fits perfectly nice and tight. All right, but that's how I would do it. I'd start with this with the bar up so you can eyeball everything, make sure it's perfect, make sure you're flat over here, and that distance I showed you earlier. So let me drill the other side now. All right, it's done, and it is beautiful. Now, I said measure twice, cut once. Measure 3 times. I'll explain in a second, but this is as tight as can be. I didn't have to use any of the little pieces to make up any wedge, so any gaps, and I didn't end up using that. Look how tight that is. However, let me tell you what happened. So even though I used their measurement and taped it off and everything, drilled my hole here, drilled my hole, when I was putting the bolt through, it was coming through like this. not like this. Let me see, that's bang on. It was slightly off center. So what I had to do with this hole, I had to bore it out that way so I can get the bolt off that way. Okay, so it's so important, like the angle, everything is so important. If you get it really close, you could probably do like I did and bore it out. Okay, so I just had to bore it out. And this one, I actually bored it out this way a bit so I could just make the bolt go straight. Make sense? So make sure you eyeball it. Now, when I put this in, it wouldn't let me get underneath. It wouldn't let me get this bolt through perfectly. So I actually had to drill a little higher and bore out the hole on the other side. Okay, not this plate, but the other plate that was, that's on this side. Okay, because you have a hole here and a hole here. So I had to bore this one because this is slightly raised. I had to push this down as much as possible. The oblong hole, the long hole, no problem. It fits easily. But this one has to line up perfect. It wouldn't. I was off by, I don't know, 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch. So I had to bore it. But, I attached it. And let me tell you why I kind of like it. I like that it is basically wanting to push the bar out. Okay, the tendency to where this is all bolted down, it wants to go out, not in towards the car. So that's good news. And my hand fits perfectly all the way along. Obviously it gets a little wide. Actually, it's pretty much tight the whole way with my fingers. I could not put 2 fingers in there. There's no way. This is a 1 finger. Okay, this is the truck you want to bring home to mom. If you can put that many fingers, do not bring this truck home to mom. So there you go. Perfectly tight, looking good. What can I say? Now, one other tip I will share with you. I did this side, and all these little bolts that hold in the metal plate, those came out pretty easily. For some reason, on my driver's side, it didn't. So while I was working on that side, I put some WD-40 just on top. You don't have to put it underneath. Trust me, it'll go through. And it sat there for maybe 2 hours, and these came out pretty easily. It's a 10mm nut underneath. It's an Allen key on top. The other advice I'm going to tell you, do not try to remove this with the Allen key. Don't force it with the Allen key. Just use your Allen key to hold it in place and use the 10mm underneath, okay? That's where you want the leverage. Underneath on the bolt, not on the Allen key, because you risk stripping it. Use the power of the nut underneath. All right, that is the video. If you're interested to see the rest of this build, I am removing this ARB. I got to be honest, I love the front ARB. Can't stand the rear. The rear is, I don't know, no bueno. So I'm putting what I believe is the market's very best bar in the back. No, it does not come from South Africa, Australia, I should say. It comes from the US, and it is phenomenal. It's the best bar. So check that. See the action tracks above. While I was doing the install, I got a delivery, a whole pallet, and here's some of them. So if you're in the US and you're interested, these are action tracks, not max tracks. So action tracks, they're a lot more pliable. They have more give to them, so it's great for the southwestern US, where you're on boulders and dirt, moguls, so there's more give. Max tracks are great for bridges. You're not going to use these to bridge because they're not stiff, but these are phenomenal, and I usually have them with metal. These ones I have as normal, and this is kind of like a custom color. That is not as blue as they usually are, so lighter blue, another custom color. I have more colors than just this, and this is what it looks like when you have the metal. That's yellow zinc grade 8. This is phenomenal metal. That's what you want if you don't want to burn the edges. This is obviously more. These go for $340 at the time of this video, and these go for $280. So if you're interested, let me know for the action tracks. All right, there she is. Next up, going to be wheels. If you want to subscribe, let me show you a sneak peek of those wheels that are going to go here, because I do not like how Land Cruisers are all tucked in. I want it to come out. It's going to come out a bit, not as far as the bar, but you're going to see the more meat of the tire. And those are like 32s. I'm going 33s, and maybe I'll do 35s later, but because I already have these tires. So there they are. These are Rock Warriors, Yankee Gold powder coated, black satin on the outside. These are sweet. Get rid of my shadow there. On some KO2s. So BFG KO2s. So that my whole color coordination on this truck's going to be getting rid of all the chrome. So it's going to be white, black, and Yankee Gold. All right. Say hi, Jasper. These are my two assistants, my lovely assistants. Jasper, he somehow he always loses the 10 millimeters. So I don't know where he puts them all. And then Ollie just sits there pretty. Right, Ollie? Hey, there you go. All right, my two assistants. All right, well, thanks for watching, and hopefully you subscribe to check out more Land Cruiser stuff, because I got a bunch of 80 series content. This one is about to get a manual transmission, 70 series, 40 series, 280s over there. So, and then this is my current project. Well, this and this one's going to be a big project, putting the manual. Did you know you can get a brand new Toyota transfer case and H55F transmission, brand spanking new, in the crate, going in that bad boy? That's going to be fun. All right, those are the 280s, diesel and petrol, as they say, gasser. All right, thanks for letting me bend your ear, and do yourself a favor. If you have the ARB front bar, you gotta finish it off with this. So nice. I'm just gonna powder coat the plates and then put those on. All right, happy trails. Thanks for tuning in.